we run annual planning process with our partners. So we want to make sure that their goals are our goals and our goals are their goals, right? Yeah. There's a level of transparency that builds trust with partners. That's important, and that means bringing them into the fold. And so we're constantly doing joint account mapping, joint business planning, and really making sure we're all on the same page with how we're going to win.
Hey everyone, Chip Rogers here again with another episode of Inside Partnering, and just really excited to be joined by Natasha Byrne. Natasha, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So here we are. We're at Asana headquarters, and it's a great event going on. We just stepped a little bit to the side here for our conversation, but I think a couple hundred people, here, and great turnout. Yeah, really fantastic and really good content and interesting conversation. We're talking about hearing from other partner leaders, talking about the challenges, and it's like, oh yeah.
I'm nodding my head the whole time. I'm just like, yes. Someone said it's like a big therapy session for all the partner leaders.
It's needed, exactly. So it's great. So first of all, welcome. Natasha. Natasha Byrne is Regional Vice President of Global Partner Alliances for Twilio. And Twilio is a well-known brand, big company, was a startup years ago, but just doing terrific work. And so your focus is really on SI partners and resellers. So it's a partner sales role.
Yes.
And so tell us more about that. First of all, your background, many years in technology, but it's interesting. We were talking about this earlier, that you started as in the pure sales role as an AE, and then product management, and then sort of like service delivery, and so you've kind of taken an interesting sort of route to get to partnering. Tell us about that and about what's happening at Twilio these days.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start with my background. I have a bit of an unconventional way of how I got into the partnerships role. I've worn a lot of different hats. Someone once referred to me as an athlete. I think that was a nicer way of calling me just like a generalist and when it comes to go to market. And I think that really has worked to my advantage on made me a successful leader and a successful partner person, because as we've heard today, you need to really understand every part of go to market to be a successful partner.
So true.
Leader. And so, I was an AE, I was a product manager, I managed a service delivery team for an SI partner. And then when I joined Twilio, I started in more of the programs and operations side of the house, and then quickly built different teams that ran the PMO and sales programs function. And then when we went through a little bit of a rebrand at Twilio, they asked me to rebuild our partner program, really focused on our Flex business unit at the time, and our contact center partners. Yeah. And I used all of the kind of my past historical knowledge to be able to put together a partner program that encompassed sales incentives, the operational excellence piece, the marketing piece, et cetera. So from there, I then stepped back into a sales role, and now lead the Global Partner Alliance team, and we're responsible for all of our global SI partners, our referral partners, and our resell partners. I have a team of 8 where no one is on the same time zone. So that's an interesting management challenge that I have, but it keeps things really interesting. And, I say that I run 4 different businesses because every part of the world runs their partner business so differently, but it's a lot of fun.
That is so true. It is each of the different regions all have different, and not just different vendors, not just different companies, but different ways of partnering.
100%. And so I've gotten a crash course in international business in the past year and a half that I've been in the role. I've got to travel to some really cool places too, and I love connecting with people. And so connecting with people over different ways of doing business, different cultures, different food. It's been really fun and rewarding, and also probably the hardest job that I've ever had too.
Interesting. So I love your sort of route to getting to partnerships. And tell me about your time at Twilio. So first you were in an operations role, and then putting the partner program in place, and now you're using the program you built. So how has that worked? Has it as now the sort of your own internal customer, has it turned out the way that you had hoped as you were putting shape to it?
My successor has done a much better job than I did with the partner program. So shout out to my girl Kyle, who is running our partner program currently. But I have a better appreciation for my internal stakeholders and my partners because I was on the other side of it too. So I think that empathy also helps as being a stakeholder. Partner programs also need to evolve, right? The partner program that I put together a few years ago were just for contact center partners. And now our partner program is for all of Twilio partners, which is as it should be. So it's really evolved, but I also probably am hopefully a power user and a good stakeholder to have because I know how much work and how important it is. And I always say the success of our partners are based off of our programs and operations team. I can't hit my goals without them. So I'm a big believer in my cross-functional stakeholders.
What are some of tell us a little bit about the program, like what were some of the key elements that you put in place that are, that have worked and have been successful and have brought partners into the Twilio program?
So a theme that we keep hearing about today is doing more with less. And the program that I had inherited before, we didn't have a lot of self-service capabilities. It was all high touch, all human touch needed to work through the portal and work through the certifications and every benefit that we had. And so I really started an initiative to look at what we had and say, how much of this can be self-service, automated, and repeatable, if you would. And there's a certain level of partners that need that white glove, high-touch service. There's a certain level that doesn't, especially as you're starting out. So I really started that movement, and we've really taken that and started to implement a lot that partners can do on their own. They don't need us to do certain things. So that's really helped us scale. Another thing that we did this year that has been really important is just our referral program, right? Making sure that we have reciprocity between us and partners. If we want them to bring us pipe, which again we talked a lot about today, how do we incentivize them to do that? Enable them to identify the right customers or prospects for us, and then reward them for doing so. And so we've rolled out different incentive and referral programs this year, which have been very successful for our partners.
Yeah, that's great. How are you? What kind of do you have? Are they incentive programs and measure? How are they measured throughout that process? Partners.
So they're measured on. We have different tiers on the Twilio Partner Program. So you start as registered, and then you move up silver, gold, or silver, bronze, gold, bronze, silver, gold. And our top tier partners are gold, get the highest referral bounty for leads that are given, and they're paid out on the first year of the total contract value. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and so they're also measured that way.
Yes.
As well, like as you look across sort of your whole ecosystem of partners, you see the ones that are performing better.
Exactly, that we're seeing partners that are deal regging more, that are then earning more, that are completing the most certifications, that are engaged with our sales teams, that are doing co-marketing events. The engagement is what we're looking for to kind of move partners up each tier. Yeah.
So I love how you, as you're talking about that, it's not just sort of the final pure revenue number, it's all of the things that get you there.
Yeah, exactly. I always say I'm not looking for a ton of partners right now in terms, because I'm very focused on SI partners. I'm looking for partners that are engaged, that want to go the mile with us, that want to build those Twilio practices and really invest with us. We're on a really unique journey at Twilio, and we want partners as a key growth pillar for us to partner with us and invest, right, and be along for the ride. I want them to be an extension of our sales team and what we're doing.
Yeah. So let's talk about those sort of, the go-to-market motions, co-marketing, co-selling. How are those programs and activities working? Is it, you mentioned that you really want to have some of it's quality over quantity. Tell us a little bit more about those motions.
Co-marketing really involves in commitment from both us and from a partner, not just dollars. I'm talking about like having people that are invested from a marketing perspective and understanding our story, understanding our message, and then, going out to their customers and evangelizing on our behalf. And so I think the things that we see work really well is when we take the time to run those sessions and those enablement with our partners, and then we incorporate them into our plans for the year. So we have big events like Signals and Transforms, and attached to each of those, which are our field events, we have specific partner days ahead of those where we, meet with our partners. We hear about what's going on in the market. We get their feedback. We hear about their wins. We hear about what we're not doing great, right? Feedback is truly a gift, right? How do we improve? And so we're really starting to have those touch points so that we can learn and iterate and really meet our partners where they are and understand what their needs are. And those have been working really well. And then coming off of those, we set them up to be able to then have co-events with customers. We bring customers, they bring customers, and we start to, just win more business together through those types of events. So we're finding doing smaller, more bespoke, tailored events work better for us than, larger scale, webinars or campaigns. They're not really working for us. We're really focused on kind of in-person connection, and that's yielded really good results.
Does that include, when you're getting you're getting the field teams together, right, between Twilio and partners? Are you doing joint account planning, or how does that happen?
We do it all. So joint account planning is really important. We do regular QBRs where we look back at how the business is performing. We, do joint prospecting. We show up to different marketing events together, and then we run annual planning process with our partners. So we want to make sure that their goals are our goals and our goals are their goals, right? Yeah. There's a level of transparency that builds trust with partners. That's important, and that means bringing them into the fold. And so we're constantly doing joint account mapping, joint business planning, and really making sure we're all on the same page with how we're going to win.
Yeah, that's great. And so the co-sell motion, how is that? Are the field teams working together? Do they get, are they working on accounts? Obviously, they're doing through that joint account planning process. But how does that? How do the mechanics of actually the co-sell process work?
Yeah, so at Twilio we call it joint selling, and my team is kind of that glue. So they're the ones that are responsible for working with our direct sales team to really understand what's a customer need, where does a partner fit in here, and the earlier you bring in a partner, the better it is for everyone in the sales cycle. And then they choose which the right partner is to bring in. And then from there, we're all on the same team. And that's like kind of the beauty of these partners that we have today. They've been with us for 5-10 years. They've gone through all these iterations of Twilio. They really know our product, and our sales team trusts them. And so with that, we go to market together, and we've got the Twilio expert on the call, and then the partners there really selling the services and making that vision that our sales team is so great at selling a reality. Because at the end of the day, implementing Twilio can be complicated if you're doing more than just messaging, right? And a lot of our customers they're on that journey for digital transformation to really transform their customer experience. They need a partner to make that a reality. They need someone to help them build. And that's where our team comes in and where our partner community does.
Yeah. Love that. That's terrific. I think I think of partners as you think of it a virtual account team internally, right? You've got maybe a product person and an industry person and whatever. Like you've got a larger team. You're just extending it out to to a partner, and they have knowledge in the account. They have expertise that they can bring to the table as well.
Exactly. They have true influence and reach that we might not have. And if you view them as a force multiplier, which they are, the AEs then become more successful and they end up making more money. So, yeah exactly.
Well, that's terrific. Talk about AI. AI is always, on top of mind for everybody. Talk a little bit about sort of how partners are engaged in and helping your customers, get more advanced on their AI journey.
Yeah, so one of the things that we launched this year is our AI certification. So we are specifically looking at who are our top partners, and we're having them go through a certification course where they're actually building solutions on Twilio using different parts of AI, using our conversational intelligence product, conversational relay product, and putting it into practice, right? AI is not something you can just talk about. It's something you have to do and see and make it a reality. And so we launched that, and we launched a cohort of partners. And this was before we went GA with the product. So customers who wanted that piece of Twilio, they knew what partners they could rely on and what partners were already ready to go because they had built these solutions already. So we're really making sure that we bring partners along for the ride as we integrate AI into our products, making sure that partners know, understand it, and are using it to be successful. Yeah. We're also using AI as part of our incentives. So as you can imagine, Twilio gets a ton of inbound leads every quarter. And we can't take all of them. We don't want all of them. And so what we've actually done is created our own agent that routes those leads that are appropriate for a partner, but maybe not our direct team, to our partners. And so we're, giving leads to our partners that best fit their ICP, and that's all done through AI. So it's kind of twofolds, right? Training and enable them as we build it into our roadmap, and then also using it as an incentive within our program.
Gosh, I love that, the lead routing process. That's really cool because you mentioned, targeted for their ICP. So there's a lot of work that goes into building that ahead of time, right? To understand what is the right buyer, what's the right industry, whatever it might be for each partner.
Yeah, so what we've actually done is we use InPartner for our PRM. They've been great. And we, on their partner directory listing, they have control over what their ICP is. So some partners change that every quarter because they're still figuring that out of who they want to target or what works best for them to get the most leads. Yeah. And then we've built an intelligent routing agent to be able to pick up.
That is so cool.
It's really cool. Yeah. So shout out to our programs team and InPartner for putting that together. But it's been a real unlock for our partners. We're still refining it. It's not perfect, but we're getting there, and we're really excited about what it's going to be able to do for our partners in the future.
It means partners are in control, and they can make changes along the way.
Yeah, exactly. You put them in the driver's seat. They know their business. They know their ICP. It changes, much like ours does at times. And we want to give them that control. They own that, not us. But it's worked really well. That's
fantastic. Natasha, this has been fantastic. Anything that we didn't cover that you want to talk about? So. This has been great. Really appreciate you taking the time and sharing the things that, your 6-year run at Twilio and kind of, the evolution of getting to partners. Now you're a partner person.
I'm a partner person. Yeah, exactly. Never would have thought. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, Natasha, thank you, and thank you all for joining, and we will see you again next time. Thanks, everybody.